The first time you do something new, it takes a lot of effort, attention, energy, will. All of it effortful. The third time, it takes slightly less. The 10th time, it takes less again. That's the natural progression, all things being equal. This is how the brain works. It optimizes for efficiency. Repeated neural pathways become myelinated. Conscious effort becomes non-conscious process. The behavior that once required a step-by-step sequence becomes a unified whole, compressed into a chunk and conceptualized as one single step. If the arc is not moving in that direction, if the 100th time feels as hard as the first, the system needs an adjustment. It's a signal to assess what's not working, what can be changed, and whether or not a completely new strategy might be necessary. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Consistency, from fitness to flourishing. What adaptation looks like. The brain is built to make repeated actions easier. Every time you repeat a behavior, the neural pathway is strengthened. The signal travels faster. The friction decreases. This is the basis of all skill acquisition, all genuine habit formation, all mastery. The same action under the same conditions requires less effort over time. This applies to discipline as a skill. The choice to exercise when the alarm goes off, when the weather is bad, when the energy is low, these choices follow the same curve. The first time, it's a fight. The 10th time, it's a negotiation. The 100th time, it's a decision. The 475th time, it's not a decision at all. It's what you do. The person who is still fighting on the 500th time has not adapted. That resistance should have been left behind much earlier. It's the sign of a system that is not aligned with how the brain learns. The two reasons discipline isn't getting easier. If discipline is not getting easier, one of two things is wrong. First, the standard may be set too high. The person who tries to do an hour at the gym every day and finds it permanently difficult, often failing to follow through, is not experiencing the natural arc of skill acquisition. They are experiencing the consequences of a skill set that exceeds their current capacity. The solution is not more effort. It's a doable minimum. The standard that is small enough to become easy, and then to become automatic. Second, the conditions may be too inconsistent. The person who exercises only when the mood strikes, or when the schedule is clear, or when the energy is high, is not repeating the same behavior. They're repeating the decision to start from scratch. Every time is the first time because the conditions are never the same twice. The brain cannot optimize a pathway that is not repeated. Here again, the solution is not more effort. It's stabilizing the conditions. The simplicity that follows effort. There is a simplicity on the other side of the effort. The person who has paid the cost of repetition reaches a point where the behavior is no longer a struggle. They haven't become more disciplined. They've gotten to the point where discipline has become unnecessary. The behavior is now part of the conditioned self. It's become their automatic pilot, their easy mode. Now, following through takes less effort than skipping. This is the difference between the beginner and the person who has integrated the practice. The beginner uses force. The integrated person is in flow. The brain has compressed the behavior into a single automatic process. The choices become so deeply embedded that it no longer requires a deliberate choice. The person who is still fighting has not yet reached this point. The answer is not to fight harder. Instead, examine the system. The arc you're aiming for. Discipline is supposed to get easier. That's the whole point of repetition. When the behavior and the conditions stay stable, the brain does what it's built to do: reduce friction, compress the action, and turn effort into automatic execution. If yours isn't getting easier, the system needs a tweak. Lower the standard until it's repeatable. Stabilize the conditions until they are predictable. Make sure you're reinforcing the same behavior, not restarting from scratch. Resistance is feedback. It tells you the design is off. Once the architecture is aligned, the shift happens naturally. Following through becomes lighter than skipping. The behavior becomes identity. Discipline stops being something you force and becomes something you are. That's the simplicity on the other side of effort. That's the arc you're aiming for. If you're ready to upgrade the quality of your consistency, join the Act Score Challenge. Practice the precise daily reps that turn follow-through into a lifestyle. Go to exercisingconsistency.com. That's it for today. Catch you next time.